Hello and welcome to YNWA Transfer News, your ultimate source for all Liverpool FC transfer news. Our first news is this. Alexander Isak to Liverpool for $130 million deal is done, says journalist. Liverpool are reportedly set to complete the transfer of Newcastle United striker Alexander Isak for $130, according to Jan Åge Fjørtoft. The former player, who now works in football media, insists he's hearing that everything is done for Isak to move to Liverpool for a huge fee. It seems he expects an announcement won't come just yet, but he says, "It's likely very soon." Alexander Isak. "Understand, Isak. Deal is done," Fjørtoft said. "Newcastle away at Leeds tonight, so nothing expected before that, I am told. Fee expected to be around $130 million. Isak to Liverpool likely to happen very soon." Alternative source denies Alexander Isak to Liverpool transfer claim for balance. The Daily Mail's Dominic King says that any talk of the $130 million transfer being done is not true, as the two clubs are not currently in talks. Liverpool have not agreed a $130 million deal with Newcastle for Alexander Isak, King said. "The clubs aren't in talks, and it's misleading to suggest they are. The only deal Liverpool may complete before Monday is Kostas Tsimikas to Roma. Significant chance there won't be any arrivals. Perhaps this isn't quite done yet. But one imagines it's only a matter of time after so much speculation, along with Newcastle fueling that speculation themselves by signing a new striker today." Earlier today, the Magpies officially announced the arrival of German striker Nick Woltemade in a club record deal. What we're hearing about Alexander Isak to Liverpool. Reporting for Caught Offside on Thursday night, Indy Kayla stated that LFC had made a bid for Isak, which is similar to what the Telegraph have also reported. We were also previously informed about Liverpool being open to including Federico Chiesa as part of a deal for Isak. It seems this could go right down to the wire, though with conflicting reports on just how advanced this is as we approach the final 48 hours of the transfer window. Liverpool transfer decision explained as Ajax makes statement after deal. Ajax technical director Alex Kroos has explained why his club moved to bring Liverpool youngster James McConnell in on loan. McConnell has joined the Dutch Giants for the rest of 2025-26 campaign after signing a new long-term contract with the Reds. The NWA reported earlier this week that a number of clubs were interested in taking the 20-year-old for the remainder of the campaign. Ipswich Town, Hull City, and Sturm Graz were just three sides keen to sign the midfielder. However, and as reported by the NWA, Liverpool were ultimately impressed with the plan Ajax put forward to help further McConnell's development. The Dutch Giants are managed by John Heitinga, who was Arne Slot's assistant last season, and Kroos believes in the shape of McConnell, who progressed through the Reds Academy after arriving from Sunderland at under-15 level. His club have signed a player with a winning mentality who has great potential. He said, "James has a real winner's mentality and will bring the necessary extra power to the squad. With him, we are adding a player who, as a defensive holding midfielder, can contribute valuable qualities to the team. He has been part of Liverpool's first-team setup for several seasons and therefore knows exactly what is required at the very highest level. He has great potential and will be given the opportunity here to continue his development. We are very pleased that he has chosen Ajax." The midfielder will link up with Liverpool teammate Vítězslav Jaros, who moved to the Johan Cruyff Arena on loan back in June, and McConnell said, "It feels really good to be an Ajax player, and I am excited and I can't wait to get started." I heard they were interested. 3, 4, or 5 days ago, and obviously the manager John Heitinga rang me and said that he thinks I can help the team. When a club like this comes asking, you can't say no. He, Heitinga, worked at Liverpool last year, and he helped me a lot. I know how intense he is and what his expectations are. I am looking forward to working with him again. I want to come and try and help this club. And, like I said, you can't say no when a team like this comes. Asked about talks with Jaros, McConnell revealed, "I did speak to him, and he couldn't be any more positive. I didn't need any convincing anyway, so it was fine. I spoke to him and asked him what to expect coming over here and a bit about the city, as I already knew how big the club was. He was really positive and said it was a great group of guys in the team. He said the fans are crazy and are really and some of the best fans he has seen. He said they, the fans, expect you to give 100% every game and leave everything on the pitch, which I think I can do." Alexander Isak's agent in firing, line as Liverpool transfer saga could reach conclusion. Alexander Isak's explosive statement, accusing Newcastle of breaking promises, has been dismissed as ridiculous. The ongoing situation with Isak at Newcastle could reach a resolution before Monday evening's transfer deadline. The saga has seen the Magpies reject a $150 million, $110 million bid from Liverpool earlier this month, before things turned sour, with Isak pushing for a departure from St. James's Park, training separately from his teammates, and being omitted from this season's opening matches. The Swede has made it abundantly clear that he has no intention of playing for Newcastle again. In a heartfelt Instagram post, he claimed the club had reneged on its word. This was believed to be in relation to either a new, improved contract, which Newcastle failed to negotiate terms with him on, or informing the striker they would be open to him exploring options elsewhere. Newcastle's owners held talks with Isak prior to their 3-2 defeat to Liverpool on Monday evening in an attempt to convince their star player to stay with the offer of a lucrative new deal. However, Isak reportedly has no interest in doing so, reports the Mirror. As a result, the Magpies have finalized the signing of Stuttgart's Nick Woltemade as a replacement ahead of a potential new British transfer record-breaking bid from Liverpool. For Isak, which could be around 175 €, 130 minutes, before add-ons and bonuses. Now, Sky Andrew, the sports agent who famously brokered Sol Campbell's controversial move from Tottenham to Arsenal, has delivered a scathing assessment of how Isak's representative has handled his situation. Speaking on Sky Sports, Andrew revealed how the agent was collecting commission each year of the player's original 6-year deal, which was signed upon his arrival in 2022. He said, "You've noticed, and I don't want to pour scorn on my profession, but you've noticed that it's only Isak that is seen as the bad guy. There's something going on behind the scenes where he's being advised to behave in a certain way, but this isn't a good situation for football. If he gets his move, it isn't a good situation for football because there are young footballers out. They're looking at the situation and thinking, oh, right, that's the way to do it. Players have got to take responsibility for who looks after them. And it's quite obvious that world-class players need world-class advice. They need people with hindsight or foresight. If anybody's telling me that this player came into Newcastle and no one expected him to be successful, then why is he playing football? So now we have a situation where he's forcing himself into doing a move. Liverpool could quite rightly say, to him, we want a 20-year contract with no buyout because he's got nowhere else to go. Andrew then examined Isak's recent comments and his assertions that the club had reneged on pledges, contending that informal agreements shouldn't be regarded as legally binding when vast sums are involved, a stance recently echoed by Alan Shearer, who suggested that Isak should sack his agent. He remarked, "That's absolutely ridiculous. Promises were reneged upon. We are in a multi-billion-pound industry. Any promises have to be put in black and white, in a contract. If it's not put in a contract, then it doesn't exist. And for any agent to not put discussions, whatever promises were made, they've got to be put in a contract. If it's not in a contract, you can't expect anyone to honor it. And for the player to say that he was made promises, that's a reflection on his representatives, because players just want to play football. And if they sit there with someone and say, oh, right, the common saying is, clubs will say, don't worry, just come and knock on our door, when things are going well. That's just not good enough. He is a world-class asset. You can't blame Newcastle for giving him a 6-year contract. Well played. But then when it comes down to the divorce has to be negotiated at the same time as the marriage. There are too many agents out there doing an average job, and I don't want to criticize this agent in particular because I'm not 100% sure what's going on behind the scenes, but this situation should never arise. Mikel Arteta confirms Arsenal response to Bukayo Saka injury as Liverpool message sent. Mikel Arteta has revealed Arsenal will investigate how they can better manage Bukayo Saka's hamstring injury record, as he claimed Liverpool are favourites for the title. The Gunners make the trip to Merseyside on Sunday, having taken maximum points from their opening 2 games of the season. Arne Slot's side have also taken 6 points from their opening 2 games of the campaign, with a last-gasp winner from teenager Rio Ngumoha, securing the Reds all 3 points against Newcastle United last time out. However, the Arsenal boss will be without Saka, as well as forwards Kai Havertz and Leandro Trossard for the game at Anfield. Saka was withdrawn in the second half of Arsenal's win against Leeds United at the Emirates last weekend, and Arteta said the injury is being investigated by the club. Yes, it is obviously a big one, he said. Especially when we talk about a sprinter, a player that gets into that zone very often in a football match that needs that burst, that change of rhythm, of pace, to be as threatening as possible. We will learn again what happened. Make him stronger. Unfortunately, injuries are part of your career. He hasn't had that many, to be fair, with the amount of games that he's played at his age. But it's something that we want to eradicate. It's not as bad as the previous one. It's an action that requires full power from him. Then he clashes with the opponent. He needs to change pace again. He felt something, so he will be out for a couple of weeks. Liverpool finished 10 points clear of Arsenal last season as they were crowned champions in Slot's first season in charge of the club. And asked if Liverpool are the favourites to retain their crown, Arteta concluded, "The favourite is always the one that won the previous year. Somebody has to come and take that crown away from them, so that is what we will try to do. The aim is to be better than them." Arsenal last week completed the signing of Ebereki Eze from Crystal Palace, and Arteta believes his new recruit, who cost $67.5 million, will love making his debut at Anfield. He said, "He's played there many times. I think he's the type of player that loves those scenarios and those moments. I think the moment he starts to play, we will see how the team will react and what connections will flourish from his interventions. I'm very confident that he's played in the league so many years. We're adapting to his qualities and making sure that we put him in the right positions as often as possible. We have to put him in the positions and scenarios where he can deliver those moments, which is the reason why we brought him here, to give us something different, something unexpected, and we will adapt to what is necessary, as we know the outcome of that is really big. They, players like Eze, have a different feel of the ball. Everything glides and moves so smoothly. They are beautiful to watch, the way they carry the ball, the way they take touches, the way they turn. Eberé for sure has got this talent. I think when you are next to him, you are comfortable. He's got a big smile. He picks teams apart. He asks you the right questions, and then just let him flow with the ball and the ability he has to pick passes, to drive past people effortlessly, and just to understand the timing of things. It's very impressive." Cody Gakpo expected to sign new Liverpool contract. Cody Gakpo is now close to signing a new Liverpool contract, according to a Dutch journalist, with his current deal expiring in 2028. Having signed for Liverpool midway through the 2022-23 season, Gakpo is reportedly set to sign his first improved contract on Merseyside. PSV Eindhoven journalist Rijk Elfrink wrote for Eindhoven's Dagblad that Gakpo is close to a new contract, and there's a good chance he'll sign a new contract soon. This would make sense given he is 26 years old, approaching his prime years, and is now the clear first-choice left winger for Arne Slot following Luis Diaz's departure. Elfrink explained that Gakpo had options to move earlier this transfer window, but according to British sources, he is close to renewing his current contract. Currently, the Dutchman earns a reported $120,000 per week, about the same as Federico Chiesa, who is just 18 months older and started 28 games fewer than Gakpo last season. Earlier in the summer, Gakpo was briefly linked to Bayern Munich, but the Bundesliga champions ended up signing teammate Diaz instead. At the time, Bild reporter Christian Falk suggested that Gakpo could imagine signing a new contract at Liverpool, before adding that Bayern weren't quite sure yet whether they're just being used as a pawn in contract negotiations. It appears that was the case, and Gakpo, having started the Reds' first 2 Premier League fixtures, is fully focused on retaining the Premier League title. At the moment, he has just Rio Ngumoha for competition on the left, but that could change if Alexander Isak were to sign. Should the Swede arrive at Anfield, Hugo Ekitike could be used out wide more often, with Isak the obvious option to play through the middle. Speaking about his compatriot, Slot, Gakpo said, "Obviously, he's trying to help me to develop myself in moments in the game, how to be smarter, how to be better, how to get yourself more in scoring positions and giving the decisive pass and everything like this. He's helping me a lot. The manager and the staff, they try to help everybody, and I think everybody can see a lot of players are developing well." Alexander Isak is confident his move to Liverpool will happen before Monday's transfer deadline, TalkSport understands. Liverpool are hoping that Newcastle signing Stuttgart striker Nick Woltemade in a club record deal will make them more likely to sanction Isak's departure. As TalkSport exclusively revealed on Friday, the Magpies have not given up hope of also signing Jørgen Strand Larsen from Wolves. Liverpool have only made one offer for Isak so far worth more than $110 million, but that was rejected, and sources insist there is still no agreement in place yet. If the Reds make a second approach, they do not intend to pay as much as $130 million for the Swedish striker, contrary to reports. Isak has made it clear he does not want to play for Newcastle again after accusing the club of broken promises over their failure to offer him a new contract. The 25-year-old has refused to feature in any of Eddie Howe's side's games this season, playing no part at all. It came after he released a statement on his current situation amid his decision not to reintegrate with the Magpies squad. Isak is training alone due to his ongoing transfer saga as he attempts to force through a move to Anfield. Howe has remained stoic in his stance over his star man's future, but with just 2 days left of the summer window, the Sweden international still believes he will get his move. The deadline for clubs in England is set for 7 p.m. on Monday night. Liverpool latest. Liverpool could be busy in the final days of the summer transfer window, with 2 new arrivals possible. The Reds are keen on Crystal Palace centre-back Mark Guehi, but Oliver Glasner does not want to sell his captain. Guehi is into the final year of his contract at Selhurst Park and has long been sought after by the Premier League champions. On top of that, Isak could still make the move to Anfield. And if that happens, TalkSport understands that Harvey Elliott could be allowed to leave the club. Elliott looks likely to stay at Liverpool if Isak doesn't join, though, despite interest from RB Leipzig. Harvey Elliott sends 4-word transfer message as Arne Slot makes Liverpool's stance clear. Liverpool star Harvey Elliott was among the players, sending their best wishes to James McConnell as he sets off on a season-long loan to Ajax, coinciding with the announcement of his new 5-year deal with the Reds. McConnell, aged 20, made the switch to Liverpool from Sunderland at the under-15 level and has since racked up 13 appearances for the senior team under the guidance of Jurgen Klopp and Arne Slot, after providing depth for the squad that clinched the Premier League title last term. Liverpool has opted to send him out to gain more consistent playing time. The young midfielder will now ply his trade at the Johan Cruyff Arena, joining the ranks of Dutch powerhouse Ajax. There, he'll be under the tutelage of Slot's ex-assistant John Heitinga, link up with fellow Liverpool loanee Vítězslav Jaros, and step into the shoes left by ex-Red skipper Jordan Henderson following his move to Brentford this summer. Very happy to be here for the season. Can't wait to get started. McConnell expressed in an Instagram post featuring snaps from his Ajax introduction, which has garnered over 20,000 likes and a flurry of comments from his Liverpool mates. Leading. The charge was compatriot Elliot, who chimed in with, "Best of luck, bro," red heart emoji. Elliot himself has been the subject of speculation over a potential exit from Anfield this summer, but Slot is eager to keep the 22-year-old within the fold. RB Leipzig has expressed interest as their star midfielder Xavi Simons made a switch to Tottenham Hotspur on Friday, but the Bundesliga outfit are poised to rebuff any approaches. They're holding out for a significant profit, especially after seeing players like Tyler Dibbling, Jacob Ramsey, Matthias Fernandes, and Omari Hutchinson depart for huge sums this transfer window. Thank you for watching. Like and comment. Subscribe.